Well, hello folks, it's Mike here. I just want to welcome you back to Mr. Cast Iron, and today I want to address a question. Actually, it was a complaint from a lady that sent me an email, and she was kind of disappointed that I didn't explain exactly what is cast iron seasoning for beginners. And so I want to do that today because oftentimes we fail to remember that not everyone knows exactly the terminology, the slang, the lingo of what we're talking about when it comes to cast iron cooking and cast iron seasoning for that matter. And this was her argument. She said that she felt like I didn't fully explain what cast iron seasoning was, and she didn't know exactly how to start or how to begin. And so cast iron seasoning is nothing more than a thin layer of oil that is baked onto your cast iron. And this is a process that's called polymerization. And this layer actually forms like a natural non-stick coating, if you will, on top of the cast iron. And the purpose of that is it helps not only to give you a non-stick coating, as I said, or a non-stick surface where your food doesn't stick, but it also, one of the main purposes of seasoning your cast iron is to prevent it from rusting. And so, you know, another question that may arise out of that is do you need to season cast iron? And the answer to that is yes and no. And it's no, because new cast iron comes from the factory pre-seasoned. Now, what does that mean? Pre-seasoned cast iron means that when they manufacture new cast iron, they bake a layer of seasoning onto the cast iron before it's ever shipped out. And the purpose of that is, as I mentioned just a minute ago, it is to prevent it from rusting. So when the product is being transported from the factory to, you know, retail stores or wherever it may be, it keeps it from rusting while it's sitting on the shelf and while it's in transit and everything. So that is one of the reasons why your cast iron needs to be seasoned. I said yes and no. And the yes is yes, it does need to be seasoned. And but the reason why I say this is because that is just a preliminary coat of seasoning on your cast iron, and it really needs more. Lodge says you can take and start cooking with it right away. Wash your cast iron, dry it, because it has this coat of pre-seasoning on it. You can start right away and begin the cooking process with it, and I have done that, and it works just fine. But the reason being is cooking is one of the best things that you can do for your cast iron seasoning, because it adds layers each time you cook with some form of fatty meat, whether it's hamburger meat or bacon or whatever it may be. It might be a ribeye, any kind of fat that is rendered off of meat. You know, and even vegetables too. I mean, onions and different things like that will help your cast iron when you're sauteing. Will help your cast iron seasoning. So yes and no on do you need to season cast iron. How many times do you need to season your cast iron? Well, if you buy a new piece, like I said, it's already pre-seasoned. You can start cooking right away, or you may want to add 2 or 3 layers of additional seasoning onto your cast iron when you first purchase it to establish a good base coat of seasoning before you begin cooking in it. So anyway, I apologize if we overlooked the fact that we did not be real clear on what cast iron seasoning is, or what is cast iron seasoning. If you've not been to my website or my YouTube channel, we have tons of videos on our YouTube channel that address this in various ways, various steps and functions that you can take to wash and clean your cast iron and season your cast iron. And so I hope this has been helpful. I hope it answers her question. Once again, I apologize for not being clear and just presuming that everyone knows what seasoning is. And so we appreciate your comments and questions, and we certainly appreciate your complaints if you have any. So if you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up, and that certainly helps our channel. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those down below, and we'll try to address those as quickly and as soon as possible if we can. And once again, we thank you for that. You guys have a great day. Now, it's Mike over here at Mr. Cast Iron. We'll be talking to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.